Hello everyone, you're welcome to this edition on Body Gist. In this edition, we want to look at who you can give blood to or you can receive blood from in case of emergency. But we'll first be looking at who you can give blood to. And we are talking on genetics, blood types, genotypes, incompatibilities in blood types. Today, to avoid incompatibility during transfusion reaction, we want to look at, with our own blood type, who can we administer blood to, who can we give our blood to in case of emergency or during transfusion, and who can we receive blood from when the need arises. If you are just joining us, I am Sister Augusta. I am a sister of St. Louis. I am a nurse and a midwife. This is me saying thank you to all our returning subscribers. For those of us who are yet to subscribe to our channel, click on the subscribe button, turn on your notification so that you always get notified anytime we upload new videos. You can as well follow us on all our other social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure you follow this video to the end. Do not go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. To understand the techniques of preventing incompatibility during transfusion, now we will need to understand the different blood types. Though we have explained it in our previous video, but I will give a brief description of the different blood types. We have said that for an individual to have a blood type A, or blood type B, or blood type O, or blood type AB, for A, it means that the individual has the A antigen present on its red cells, on the surface of its red cells. If the individual has the B type, it means that there is B antigen present in the red cells. If the individual has AB, it means that the individual has both A and B antigen present in the red cells. And if the individual has O blood type, it means that there is no antigen that is present on the red cells of that individual. Now, for an individual to also say he or she has a blood type that is A positive or A negative, if you say that you have A positive, it means that the positive there is for the Rhesus factor. It means that you have a Rhesus factor present in your red blood cell. So if you have A positive, it means that you have both A antigen and the Rhesus factor present in that type of individual's red blood cell. Then if you have B positive, it means that you have the Rhesus factor present and you also have the B antigen. If you have B negative, it means that you only have the B antigen and there is no Rhesus factor. And that goes for the different types of blood types that we have on the board today. So in blood transfusion, for you to be able to give blood and ensure that there is not going to be any reaction or you are preventing incompatibility, it means that you are going to give blood to someone who has your own blood type, and it's not only having your blood type, it means that the Rhesus factor is also going to be the same. If the Rhesus factor is not the same, then we are going to look for a neutral blood that is not going to cause reaction, and we shall be highlighting all that in our discussion today. Now, in blood transfusion, there are some factors to be considered: the Rhesus factor and the antigen present. To give a blood to an individual, ensure you are giving the blood type that matches that individual's blood type. How does this match take place? It means that you are going to give the exact blood type. Let's say if I have an A antigen present in my blood type, it means that if I receive any blood that has A antigen in my blood type, there won't be any reaction. Then for O blood type does not have any antigen present. If I also receive it, I won't have any reaction because there is no antigen present to cause any reaction. Now let us talk about the Rhesus factor. If I have a Rhesus factor present, it means that I'm going to be having a blood that is Rhesus positive. If I receive a blood that is Rhesus positive, I won't have any reaction because I have a Rhesus factor. And if I also receive a blood that is negative, I won't have any reaction because that blood does not even have any Rhesus. To say a blood is Rhesus negative means that that individual does not have any Rhesus factor present in that blood, so I won't have any reaction. So those are the things we need to consider when we want to either give blood or receive blood during transfusion. Now, an individual with the blood type A that is positive, it means that the individual has A antigen present in his blood type, and the individual also has a positive Rhesus factor. So this type of individual can only give blood to somebody who is also having his own blood type, having A blood type with a positive Rhesus factor, and the individual can also give blood to somebody who is also having a AB blood type. This is because this AB blood type also has A antigen. If this individual gives, the person with the A positive blood type gives blood to individual with AB, there's not going to be any transfusion reaction because this individual has A antigen and this also has A antigen. And this person too also has to have A positive blood type. So an individual with A positive blood type can only give blood to individual with A positive blood type and AB positive blood type. So for an individual with A negative blood type, the individual can give blood to an individual with A positive blood type, A negative blood type, AB positive blood type, and AB negative blood type. This is because A negative is present in here, but though the A negative is having negative, it means that it doesn't even have any Rhesus factor that can cause reaction with this. Of course, this is in the same blood type, so there won't be any reaction. A is also present here, though this is negative, but this A is not having any Rhesus factor, so there is not going to be any reaction here. Then the A antigen is also present here, and there is no Rhesus factor, so there isn't going to be any reaction if an individual with A negative gives blood to an individual with A positive, A negative, AB positive, or AB negative. An individual who is B positive can only give blood to the same type of person who has B, an individual who has AB positive. This is because this individual has B and is B positive. Even here, the B is present in AB and it is positive. So there isn't going to be any transfusion reaction, either in the antigen space or in the Rhesus factor space. An individual with B negative can also give blood to an individual with B positive. Let us not forget that this negative here means that there is no Rhesus factor. So there is not going to be any reaction here because there is no Rhesus factor to react with. But because the B is present, so it's matching it. This B negative here is also matching the B negative here. It's also going to be compatible with an individual with AB because it is having a Rhesus negative. So there's not going to be anything to react with even if the individual is Rhesus positive. And because B is already present here, there isn't going to be any reaction. And it is going to also match the blood type of an individual who is AB negative. So if an individual with B negative gives blood to an individual with B positive, B negative, AB positive, or AB negative, there's not going to be any transfusion reaction. The blood is going to be compatible. If we do not understand any of this, it is better we pause the video and watch it again to help or to aid in our understanding. An individual who is O positive can give blood to all the O blood types, but those blood types can have to be in the positive. This is because an individual who is having a blood type that is O means that there is no antigen present in his blood type. So there isn't going to be any reaction with any of the blood types. And because it is O positive, it can only be compatible with an individual who also has a positive blood type. So an individual with O positive can give blood to an individual with A positive, who is also B positive, who is AB positive, and who is O positive. There won't be any reaction if the individual with O positive give blood to any of this blood type. So let us look at an individual who is O negative. If you are O negative, it has been termed a universal donor because you do not have an antigen present in your blood type and you also do not have a Rhesus factor. So none of this is going to be causing any reaction. So you can actually give blood to all their own blood types. You can give blood to an individual who is A positive, who is A negative, who is B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, O positive, and O negative. This is because the O signifies that there is no antigen present in the blood cell, in the red blood cell, and the negative means that there is no Rhesus factor present. So if anybody who has any type of blood type receives this blood, there isn't going to be any reaction or there isn't going to be any incompatibility. So the individual with O negative is known as the universal donor. Now, an individual who is AB positive can only give blood to an individual who is AB positive. This is because it has the antigen A present in his blood type and also has the antigen B present in his blood type, and it also has the Rhesus factor present. So it is only the AB positive that is compatible with an individual who has AB positive, because if he tries to give blood to any other blood type, there's going to be transfusion reaction because of the presence of the antigen and the Rhesus factor. For an individual who is also AB negative, the individual can only give blood to an individual who is AB positive. This is because it has AB antigens present, which is present in the person who is having AB positive. And because it is AB negative, it will not have any reaction, because this negative here means that there is no Rhesus factor present. So there won't be any reaction with the Rhesus factor present here. And it can also give blood, so it's also blood. It's the person who is having a blood type, because that person's blood is matching. Because the AB antigen is present and a negative Rhesus factor, AB antigen is also present here with also a negative Rhesus factor. Now let us look at who we can receive blood from with our different blood types. If you have the blood type A, which is positive, you can receive blood from an individual who is having a blood type like yourself, A positive. And you can also receive blood from an individual who is A negative. This is because of the presence of A and A here, there won't be any reaction. And because there is no Rhesus factor present, there will also be no reaction. Then you can also get blood from an individual who is O positive. O positive because of the positive Rhesus factor present, and because O means that there is no antigen present, so you can get blood. Then you can also get blood from an individual who is A negative, meaning that there is no Rhesus factor present causing any reaction, and there is no antigen present that will also cause reaction for an individual who has A type. So you can take blood from anyone who is A positive, A negative, O positive, or O negative. For an individual who is A negative, that person can only receive blood from an individual who is also A negative like himself. The blood will match, there won't be any mismatch, and can take blood from an individual who is O negative. This is because there is no antigen present in this person's red blood cell to cause reaction. There is also no Rhesus factor present to cause reaction. So this person with A negative can receive blood from an individual with A negative and O negative. There won't be any mismatch, and there won't be any transfusion reaction due to genetic factors. There may be other transfusion reaction if the blood is not properly screened, but due to the genetic factors, there won't be any transfusion reaction. For an individual who is B positive, that person can only receive blood from the person who has his own blood type, which is B positive, or the person who also has B negative. Remember, we have said that with B negative, it means that there's no Rhesus factor present, so there won't be anything causing reaction. Then for an individual who is O positive, this is because there is no antigen present here, but there is a positive factor which is matching with the positive factor here. And O negative means that there is no antigen to cause any reaction here, and there is also no Rhesus factor to cause reaction for the individual who is B positive. So that person can receive blood from an individual who is B positive, B negative, O positive, and O negative. An individual who is B negative can only receive blood from an individual who is B negative, or an individual who is O negative. This is because if he receives blood from anyone who has a positive factor, there is going to be reaction due to the presence of the Rhesus factor. Then for an individual who is O positive, he cannot receive blood from an individual who has the whole blood type, either O positive because of the Rhesus factor present, or O negative. This because in the Rhesus factor, there is no Rhesus factor present in the negative. It means that there isn't going to be anything really causing transfusion reaction due to genetics. Then an individual who is O negative can only receive blood from an individual who is O negative. They cannot even receive blood from an individual who is O positive because of that positive Rhesus factor. There can be reaction if an individual with O negative takes blood. So I've said that an individual with B negative can receive blood from B negative and O negative. An individual with O positive can get blood from an individual who is O positive and O negative. And an individual who is O negative can receive blood from an individual who is also O negative. An individual who is O negative can only get blood from his own kind, not even from any other blood type. Now let's just talk about an individual who is AB positive. An individual who is AB positive is termed as the universal receptor. This means that it can receive blood from all their own blood types. Now let us look at the components present. It has the A antigen present. It has a B antigen present. It also has a Rhesus factor. So there isn't anything that is going to be causing transfusion reaction if it gets blood from all these other types, because A is present, B is present, and there's also a Rhesus factor present. So it therefore means that an individual who is AB positive can get blood from an individual who is A positive, who is A negative, who is B positive, who is B negative, who is O positive, who is O negative, who is AB positive, and who is AB negative. Hence, an individual who is AB positive is a universal receptor. Now lastly, for an individual who is AB negative, they can get blood from the 4 types of blood types, but they have to be the people who have the negative blood Rhesus factor. Means that an individual who is AB negative can get blood from an individual who is A negative, B negative, AB negative, and O negative. This means that there won't be any transfusion reaction if it gets blood from any of these 4 types. If it gets blood from anybody who is positive, there's going to be transfusion reaction because of the Rhesus factor that is present. In this video, we have looked at the different blood types, and we have looked at the blood types that can give blood to who and who can receive blood from who. I just want us to know once again that the O negative blood type is the universal donor. They can give blood to all the different blood types. And the AB positive, they are the universal acceptor, meaning that they can receive blood from all the different blood types. I hope we have been enlightened, and if we have found value for this video, please do not forget to give us a thumbs up. Share this video with your loved ones. They might be benefiting from it. I remain Sister Azor Augusta, a sister of St. Louis. Keep following us on Body Gist while we keep giving you healthy gist.